So I am trying something different this time. I'm having some technical difficulties. So I am now on my phone rather than my computer, so hopefully you can all hear me still. I think you probably can. Okay, so we're gonna move on to science now. What I want you to do first is watch the videos that I sent. They're pretty elementary, they're pretty basic, but they should give you a good understanding of the water cycle. So the water cycle is what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be working with, and it's really neat because it's something that is happening every single day in our world. So go ahead and pause this, watch those two videos. Make sure that you have this worksheet when you come back, because then we're going to just talk about some key vocabulary, and then we are going to then talk about the science experiment that you're going to be doing next week, and making sure that you're all prepared for that and making a hypothesis of what you think is going to happen next week with the science experiment before you actually conduct it. So take a break, go ahead and watch those videos, and then come back with a little bit more understanding about the water cycle. Okay, so hopefully you've watched the videos, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some different vocabulary. So the very first thing, and what you're going to do is you're going to fill out this vocabulary sheet with me as we talk about the different vocabulary. So feel free to feel free to use colored pencils or colored pens or markers or whatever you want, just to kind of make this fun. And that's it. We're just going to do some vocabulary. So the very first word is going to be water cycle. So under where it says vocabulary word, we're going to write water cycle. Excuse me. So water cycle. And we are going to write a definition for it. So what is the water cycle? So it is the changes to water when it evaporates into the air, then it condenses into clouds, and then precipitates down to earth. So it's this circle of things that are happening. So we've got water, then it gets hot, the sun shines, it evaporates, goes into these clouds that are full of condensation, so they're full of all this moisture, and then when they get full enough, it precipitates and comes back down to earth. So it can come back down into earth through into our groundwater, and then going in and going deep into the ground where it might meet a low source to get into a river, an ocean, a pond, all kinds of different things. So that is our circle. So go ahead and write it in your own words. So I'm going to write changes to water. You can write with me. Changes to water when it evaporates into the air. I wish that I could have you look at it at the same time. Condenses. Maybe I can make it so you can see. I have my cheat sheet. Into clouds. I'm going to leave it like this. I'm sorry. This is just not working for me. Okay, condenses into clouds, and then precipitates down to earth. Okay, so your sheet should look something like this. I think it's backwards, not video recording as good as my other ones. So vocabulary word, water cycle, it's totally backwards. I don't know how to make it not backwards. I'm so sorry. I'm not a super technologically savvy educator. I'm trying really hard. I've spent pretty much all day trying to deal with this technology, so it's not for lack of trying, I promise. And then your definition should say the changes to water when it evaporates into the air, condenses into clouds, and then precipitates down to Earth. So if you need to repeat that again, go ahead and just pause me and record. So I'm going to draw a picture here. I'm not going to draw a picture for all of these, just for time purposes. I don't need you to watch me do all of this. We'll go through the words and the definitions, and then I'll ask you guys to do the pictures kind of with the extra time after the video. So I will actually do the water cycle picture just to kind of show you what the whole thing will look like, but I won't be doing all of the pictures, just so you know. Okay, so for my picture, I'm going to draw a little sunshine and a cloud in the sky. Okay, and then I'm going to have my cloud raining. And then on the bottom, I'm going to have a lake and a mountain. And I'm going to have a little bit of the humidity coming up. So this is kind of what my water cycle looks like. And now I'm going to draw some arrows because we all know that it's a cycle. So the water evaporates, condenses into the clouds, and then precipitates into the lake. Okay. So we also learned a couple other vocabulary words, and those things happen in different situations. So here I drew a mountain where we have some runoff water, which we'll be talking about as one of our other vocabulary words, so you can include that one as well. So that runoff water goes into the lake, and then your humidity, okay, your condensation. Okay, next vocabulary word is going to be precipitation. 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 Don't worry too much about the spelling. I know it's backwards. Okay, so precipitation, it can come in a few different forms, and we are going to write about all of them. So we're going to write water, because it's always water. Water droplets, and this is our definition, fall from the atmosphere, atmosphere, in the form of rain, sleet, snow, or hail. Okay, go ahead and rewind if you need to hear that again. I know it's going to take you a few minutes, so anytime that I'm talking too fast, actually I'll read them each twice so that you don't have to necessarily rewind every single time, but feel free to pause anytime that you need to. In my technological difficulties, I realized that each video cannot be more than 15 minutes to get to go to YouTube. So I'm going to try to get all the information out into 15-minute windows so that you're not watching like a ton of videos. I don't know how to get them. I think you have to, I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to try to do most of the vocabulary on this 15 minutes. We're already at 9. So continuing. So for precipitation, in your picture, you can draw something like snow, sleet, rain, hail, anything that you would like to draw. Okay? All right, next, condensation. Ready? C-O-N-D-E-N-S-A-T-I-O-N, condensation. Okay? Definition: the cooling of water in the atmosphere, A-T-M-O-S-P-H-E-R-E, changing to liquid. Liquid. Okay? Condensation. The cooling of water in the atmosphere changing to liquid. Okay? So for condensation, I can draw a quick picture. So we've got like cool air, all these droplets inside of the clouds. I'm drawing a cloud with droplets in it. And I'm writing droplets. Clouds. Droplets forming clouds. So something along those lines. All right. Okay. So we're gonna just do our next 3 vocabulary words. I'm just gonna write them down for you, and then I might have to start the next video. Okay. So we're gonna do evaporation. 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 Transpiration. TRANSPIRATION. And then runoff. All right, so we should be here. Actually, we might as well just draw all our pictures. So go ahead and draw. Well, you can pause and you can draw rain, or you can not pause. I'm going to draw rain. You can draw snow if you want. Because I am probably at the perfect point to pause. All right. So we should be here. And I'm going to pause here, make sure that this video uploads, because I might end up having to do it again. So I'm having some troubles, and then I will come back in the next video. Before I do that, really quick, on the side, I'm writing the water cycle vocabulary. The water cycle vocabulary. Okay, doke. See you in a moment.